San Francisco, city of spectacular views and world-famous architecture. And since 1958, home of the Giants.
Boyd belts it high and deep right field. Way back goes Monday to the fence. It is gone! Home run, Joe Morgan! And Superman has done it again. Five, he hits it hard! And deep! And listen to this crowd! With his back at the wall. It is out of here, and this one is over. And the National League West is tied.
Now there is a blending of the world-famous city and San Francisco Giants baseball in a new jewel along the City by the Bay's waterfront. Pacific Bell Park. Today, the memories begin.
Live from Pac Bell Park, Fox 2 brings you Giants baseball. Today, the Giants take on the Dodgers. This game is brought to you in part by Bud Light, great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. By your Bay Area Ford stores. By Pacific Bell Wireless, reminding you to use your phone safely while driving. By Taco Bell, late night at Taco Bell. Want some? By your Northern California Toyota dealers. By Chevron Supreme with Petron, Chevron Simply Smarter. And by Southwest Airlines. Log on for low fares at southwest.com, a symbol of e-freedom.
Hard on the shores of McCovey Cove. That's right. The new baseball palace of the San Francisco Giants, and it begins for real today. The ballpark here in the city that Peter Gammons, the noted baseball writer, has said will be the best baseball park ever built. High praise indeed from a man who grew up watching baseball at Fenway Park. Well, the crowd is gathering. There is electricity not only inside this beautiful new jewel, but all around the streets of San Francisco as everybody is talking about this fabulous new park. And what's more, it's not only opening day, but it's the Giants and the Dodgers. Their historic rival is here to help christen this new ballpark. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Mike Krukow. And indeed, for a baseball fan, opening day is New Year's Day, and that's exactly the way it is here. Everybody's in a festive mood. All of the partying that was supposed to happen on New Year's, well, it's happening right here at Pac Bell Park today. And Krug, I mean, not only were the people coming by car and by train and by BART and ferry boat and whatever, but by foot, you name it, and everybody is ready to party. This is a very exciting day here in the city, a city that I think is rather tough to impress.
San Francisco is tough to impress, and I don't think back in 1993, when this ownership group took over the Giants, they could have envisioned a better day to open up their palace, as you call it, partner, and you could not have said it any better. This place is perfect. And I agree with Peter Gammons. I think this is the best ballpark in the country. Now it is up to the players. The Giants have assembled a team that I think is going to really go well with this ballpark, and they're chomping at the bit to get out there and really get this new page of Giants history started off on the good foot.
All right, Kirk Reeder will be on the mound for the Giants, Chan Ho Park for the Dodgers. Gary Sheffield will be in the lineup for LA, even though he had a badly sprained ankle. He's going to hobble out there and play in this inaugural ball game. Barry Bonds and Gary Sheffield both will find that left field is the sun field in this ballpark.
Yeah, it's totally different. Remember back at Candlestick, it was right field that you had to battle the sun. Here, it's just the opposite. It's left field. Another thing, too, yesterday the Dodgers took batting practice and in an off-day workout, and the consensus was they want to go back to Candlestick. Ball's not carrying here. The hitters don't like that. It's live down both lines, but between the gaps, the ball really has to get hit to get out of here in the daytime. It's a little bit more livelier during the nighttime, but it is a very fair ballpark, and the pitchers know that they have a place that they can throw the ball where it's pretty dead out in center field. And I just think all of this, plus the angles of the fence, is going to lead to some very exciting baseball.
All right. Baseball, that's what we're here for. Game one here at Pacific Bell Park. They're sending me down onto the field. I'm not allowed to stay up here. Ted Robinson will be along with Mike Krukow for more from Pacific Bell Park. Stay tuned.
Fuel up with breakfast at Denny's with two-time NASCAR champion Terry Labonte. Nothing slows Terry down like the new and delicious Kellogg's Country and Specialty Slam and Country and Specialty Slim Slam. Try them and get your free game piece. And you could win a trip to meet Terry Labonte, plus $25,000.
Come on, Terry.
Hey, man, it's the only thing I do slow.
Fuel up with breakfast at Denny's.
I hate dings in the door. I have this one terrible one. Some fool comes along out of the grocery store and just bangs right in the side. And then, of course, he's looking around. Nobody else can see him but me. He's banged, and I have this huge dent. But my owner can't always get to him, you know, right away to get him fixed. But I think she tries to make up for it. She gives me Chevron Supreme with Techron because I'm a car designed for high-octane gas.
No premium outperforms Chevron Supreme with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
I'm serious. Whenever guys find out I have a cat, they freak.
You're kidding me? I love cats.
Of course, my cat's not like other cats.
Well, sure he isn't.
He gets so jealous if anyone drinks my Bud Light. Anyway, I'll go get changed.
You're right. Stupid cats.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Look at you, too.
Make it a Bud Light.
When did you first notice this problem?
It started a couple of months ago!
More or less!
Go on.
Personally, I don't see what the fuss is all about!
But we're losing friends!
Did you purchase a cellular phone?
We sure did!
Yelling over the static. Here, try Sprint PCS. They built the only all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network, so you'll be heard loud and clear.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Sprint PCS, the clear alternative to cellular.
Very simply, it is a day of dreams in San Francisco. For 4 decades, people have dreamt about a downtown ballpark on the bay, incorporating the most beautiful settings imaginable with an intimate baseball park, and that day in San Francisco has finally arrived under the most glorious weather imaginable, and we're just moments away from starting the pregame festivities. You know, Mike Kruko, when I first came here in the early 80s, you were still playing, and there were ballot measures galore going on, all these wonderful. I remember that the Giants were going to go play in Oakland for a couple of years. Remember that folly? Well-intentioned, but didn't work. Somebody once said to me, you know, the day the Giants get a new ballpark in San Francisco will be the day Kevin O'Brien puts a 6 o'clock news on KTV.
Well,
it happened.
It is. It's here. It has finally arrived. And, you know, Ted, last night was the Founders' Dinner, and it was a night of emotion when Peter Magowan and Larry Bear said their thank yous to the people who put the investment package together to keep this team here in San Francisco. He said thank you to the people that built this ballpark, and he said thank you to his employees who has carried on the Giants tradition from Candlestick here to Pac Bell Park. It was a very emotional night, and I think that when they started out in 1993 talking about this, I mean, nobody envisioned it could ever be this good. And this is the one day where we're really going to go overboard and try and explain the emotion and the feeling that's in this ballpark. It's running wild. There'll be a lot of tears today, and I think, speaking from a former player's standpoint, I'm just glad that this ownership group had the savvy to keep this ballpark here, to keep the Giants here in San Francisco. And last night, Peter Magowan said, before he started his thank yous, first words out of his mouth were, the Giants will be in San Francisco forever. And oh, how that sounded so good.
You know, it was, gosh, it was over 40 years ago now. I've heard about it from my parents. Peter Magowan lived through it, seeing baseball leave a city, 2 National League teams leaving New York at the same time. Of course, California, the beneficiary of that. But Peter knew firsthand what it was like to see baseball leave a city. When you see Pac Bell Park today, and if you turn and you look away from Pac Bell Park, and you see a whole new wing of San Francisco being built, Mike, it really hits home what a ballpark can mean to a city.
Well, I think that the city of San Francisco is really going to discover the Giants for the first time in a lot of different ways. And think about it, having come to the Giants games in the past, you would go to Candlestick and you'd go home. But here, you're going to go to the ball game and you're going to fall out of bed and you're going to go right into the city. And I think that has excited a lot of the fans who have never really done that before. To get to the city, it was a 12 or, it's a 15-minute ride. Now, boom, you can walk and you're right there in the greatest city in the country.
You know, 2 other names that should be mentioned, and we will in a few moments see the investor group that saved this team in 1993 and built this ballpark. But remember, the Giants were saved once before. Bob Lurie in 1976 saved this team. And for many years, he and Corey Bush worked diligently to try to get a ballpark like this built. And I think they should be acknowledged, Mike. And they've been very, very classy in their gratitude in their statements that they're impressed with what this ownership group has done.
Well, they have to be, and there was no better owner that I was ever under than Bob Lurie, Bob and Connie Lurie. Absolutely fantastic owners, fantastic people. And they are rejoicing in what has been accomplished here, getting this ballpark up. It really has been the euphoria around this place and the emotion. So many people have made contributions, major contributions over the last 20 years to get this thing going. And you're right, we tip our hats to Bob and Connie Lurie, to Al Rosen, and all the people who've been involved for the different ownership groups to get this thing going today, because it is something.
Well, Peter Magowan will sit in his seat today and just beam with unmatched pride at what has been achieved. And as it was for the 2 exhibition games here, Mike, it's almost as if the baseball gods are saying, okay, after 40 years of Candlestick, we're going to even the score for you a bit and give you just the most perfect weather imaginable in which to open the stadium. Harmon Burns in the middle, another one of the major investors who's helped the Giants be so competitive in the last few years. And of course on the left, Larry Baer, whose vision helped to start this investment group together in late 1992. And of course Larry has worked more hours than he ever wants to remember to make this a reality. On their way in right now are parachute jumpers that are coming in bringing dirt from 30 different major league ballparks, including, yes, dirt from the stick that will be scattered after a blessing, in fact, will be scattered here around Pacific Ballpark. We get a great traffic review right here, Mikey. It looks pretty good on the freeways.
Yeah. Look at that, right there, right in the middle of it.
And I'm so moved today because we saw how beautiful this ballpark looked during the 2 evening exhibition games. But to see it for the first time under sunshine and daylight with the full park, this is really, I think, going to be the signature of Pacific Ballpark day games.
I'm convinced that the curse of bad weather in San Francisco was Candlestick. Ever since the Giants have come over to Pac Bell Park, it's been hot. Another beautiful day. There's very little wind at all. The boats had assembled earlier, and there was an armada outside right field into McCovey's Cove. And as you mentioned, Ted, here comes the parachutist down with dirt from all 30 ballparks in the major leagues, including Candlestick, including Tiger Stadium.
Wow,
those pieces of dirt will be added to this ballpark, and hopefully all the good karma from those ball yards will affect this place in a positive way.
That's a 10.0 landing right there. Do you think there's dirt from the Astrodome?
I know for a fact there's dirt from the Astrodome.
That might be one I'd have passed on. We want no Astrodome karma here.
Former broadcaster Hank Greenwald sent the dirt in from Houston, so it completed the package of all 30 teams.
I was just outside, Mikey, about a half an hour ago. I walked out into Willie Mays Plaza, which is 3rd and King Street, right outside home plate of the ballpark. And John Miller said it right. It's like a party. I mean, that's what I felt like I was going to. All I were missing were the taps and the barbecues. People were just one smile after another as they met their friends. They looked at the statue, just gazed around and almost in disbelief that that day is finally here.
Well, what the fans have done since they've come to this ballpark, and again, this is the 3rd game, the first real game, is that they haven't stayed in their seats. They've walked around, and there's continuous movement that encircles this ballpark. The moment you walk into this ballpark through Willie Mays Plaza, you get into the stadium itself, and you take a lap over the right field wall, around the bleacher section, down around behind the scoreboard by Orlando's Barbecue. Orlando Cepeto's got a barbecue place out there. I mean, you just keep getting different looks at this ballpark, and they just keep outdoing the one you saw before.
And they're on the top of the right field wall, the public walkway. Actually, on top of the right field wall, it's open only to ticket holders. But anyone with a ticket in the stadium can go out and walk that right field walkway, see the views from atop the wall, turn behind them and look into the water. And of course, from out in right field, you get a beautiful view of the city skyline of the Bay Bridge. And underneath the right field wall, the knothole area. Saw a nice little piece in the Chronicle this morning with some people suggesting names for it. It'll get a name sooner or later. Freeloader's Cove was a pretty good start, I thought. but it's just all part of the unique charm, much of it was inspired, quite frankly, by Peter Magowan and his visions as a lifelong baseball fan of things that he wanted incorporated into the ballpark. And here, the knothole area, that's definitely one.
Yeah, those guys have been standing there for a while too, but they've got great seats. They can actually hear the outfielders communicating with one another during the course of a ball game, positioning themselves to defend a hitter. And that's the kind of closeness that the Giants had hoped that they would get in this ballpark. Because not only are you close in right field behind the chain link, but up and down the sidelines by the bullpens, you can literally stand on one side of the bullpen and shake hands with the person in the front row. So I always felt that that was one of the greatest parts about Wrigley Field. When you were in the bullpen, you could exchange balls for hot dogs.
Look at that little Kruko. That is Wes Kruko, age 10, who along with junior Giants from all throughout the area will run out and spread the dirt that is now being blessed, that has been brought in from the other major league ballparks. This is Father Floyd Latito from St. Boniface Church in San Francisco, who is presiding over the blessing of the dirt.
All the team, the workers and the fans, keep them in health, safety, and happiness.
My son came to me last year, Wes, and he said, Dad, now that Candlestick is going to be gone, I would like to have something from that to remember it by. And he came up with the idea of getting dirt. And he took it a step further and started collecting dirt from all the ballparks. But when the Giants had heard of his collection, they approached him and said, we'd like to have some of your dirt and have every field represented from all over the country. And we'd like to include that in our field here. And boy, he lit up, and they were so gracious to have Wes become a part of it.
Yeah, Kruko's dirt.
Wes Kruko's dirt.
Just think, that's dirt from probably every mound you ever pitched on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Came from the mounds and the home plates. He was so pumped up. They so graciously included him in the ceremony, and I tell you what, this one kid didn't sleep last night.
Well, Mikey, I've got to admit, you're looking pretty good for the 55th cup of coffee today.
Do you know what? Last night I really was tired, and I came to the ballpark early. We had the founders dinner, as I mentioned earlier, and I got up here about an hour and a half early. I was going to go through some of the notes and do some more homework on the Dodgers. And I was sitting up here in the booth reading the Dodgers media guide, and I started looking out at the vista, which is a magnificent view looking out across the field towards center field. I didn't read one page. For an hour, I just stared at the view, at the ballpark, at the accomplishment, at this magnificent achievement. And I just felt so proud for the Giants organization and proud to be part of it.
I think we're all guilty of the same problem today. And as most appropriately, Wes Kruko runs right up to that pitching rubber as the dirt now being spread around the infield here at Pacific Ballpark. And what a beautiful job, by the way, the new grounds crew has done in preparing the field, which was magnificent for the exhibition games. But today it looks even more special. Scott McVicker, the new head groundskeeper here at Pacific Ballpark, and his crew have prepared the field immaculately. Well, now we're going to join another new member of the Giants family this season. She will be the voice you hear at Pacific Ballpark this year, and we welcome Grinnell Brooks Moon.
At this time, please welcome the voice of Giants baseball, also the longtime play-by-play man for ESPN's Sunday night game of the week, the incomparable Mr. John Miller.
Thank you, Renell. And once again, a very pleasant good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Pacific Ballpark. Today, an historic day for the city by the bay, the city of world-famous vistas, and now that melding of the city and Giants baseball in the best baseball park ever built. Now, it wasn't so long ago, 8 short years ago, the Giants and Dodgers played a game here in late September, and many of us thought this would be the end of the Giants and Dodgers rivalry. The Giants, we thought, had been sold to St. Petersburg, Florida. They were going to be the St. Petersburg Giants. They were going to play in the Tropicana Dome. Then there was an heroic 11th hour effort. A group of civic-minded San Franciscans stepped up and found a way to keep the Giants here. Peter Magowan put a group of investors together to keep the Giants in San Francisco. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank Mr. Magowan and all the Giants investors who helped save the Giants for our city and then made the commitment to restoring the Giants' winning tradition and putting them in this great new ballpark. Let's introduce this all-star group to you right now. First, let's recognize a couple of Giants owners who could not be here today, Mr. William Hewlett, Mr. Phil Gregg, Charles Johnson. Now those who are here to be part of this occasion, please recognize Mr. Larry Baer, Mr. Harmon Burns, Alan Byer, George Drysdale, John Fisher, Daniel Geller, Richard Goldman, Nancy House, David Jenkins, Dwayne Kurisu, Peter Magowan, KNBR Radio, represented by Mr. Tony Salvador. KTVU Television, represented by Mr. Kevin O'Brien. Philip Moraes. William Newcomb. Larry Nibby. Arthur Rock. Ted Rosenberg. John Scully. Robert Sokoloff. And Mr. David Wolf. Now, we'd also like to recognize 4 civic and community leaders who helped us build this ballpark. Everybody wants to see packed ballpark. One who is a great friend of the Giants and helped this happen could not be with us today. We'd like to recognize Reverend Cecil Williams. And those who are here, former supervisor Roberta Achtenberg, Judge Quentin Kopp, and former San Francisco Mayor Frank Jordan. Pacific Ballpark, the first privately financed Major League ballpark to be built in nearly 40 years. Ladies and gentlemen, on the field, this is your legacy. Let's give these folks one final lusty round of applause.
Thank you very much, John. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Giants Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, Larry Baer, who has a very special presentation.
Thanks, Rennell. Many of us have dreamed about a beautiful downtown ballpark for years. Now, today, April 11th, year 2000, we have one. It wouldn't be possible to have a ballpark like this without the support and the commitment of the leadership of this city. At this time, we'd like to recognize the extraordinary efforts and commitment of the mayor of this city, Mr. Willie L. Brown, who helped make this happen. And we have something to present to the mayor. Mayor Brown. An official commemorative ball to Mayor Brown and a Giants jacket to be displayed proudly at City Hall. Thank you, Mayor Brown.
Larry, Peter Magowan, and the entire family of sponsors for the San Francisco Giants. On behalf of the first mayor to bring baseball to San Francisco, Mayor George Christopher, on behalf of every subsequent mayor who participated in maintaining baseball in San Francisco, I accept this symbol of your acknowledgement of city involvement, and I look forward to another crown jewel of this city being enjoyed by the hundreds of thousands of people who come to visit us and by the millions who will watch the San Francisco Giants win the World Series. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, selected by their peers to represent all the San Francisco building trades involved with this project, let's welcome the men and women who helped build this magnificent ballpark. Attention to the video board as we take a look back at the building of Pacific Bell Park, the newest signature to San Francisco's famous skyline.
Well, it all started just over 2 years ago, December of 1997, with the formal groundbreaking at a site that Mikey and I were once thinking a bowling alley might fit here. Cruise 48 lanes. Well, it didn't take long for the reality to hit home, though. What had been just a glimmer and a dream for so many years, over the course of about 28 months, began to take shape. And seeing the frame rise, Mike, it really hit home what was transpiring at the corner of 3rd and King.
You know, it was fun to come here as all the different phases of the building were being accomplished. And each time you come in here, you walk around the grounds and you would always come across the construction workers. And it looked to me like they were having a good time. They really always were very anxious to talk about the ballpark, very anxious to talk about what we thought about the ballpark. They were giving us wind updates. They were talking about what the wind did in the afternoon as opposed to the noontime hours, as opposed to the nighttime hours. It was really one of the fun parts about this ballpark was coming here to talk to the contractors and the construction crew.
Of course, there were also great research done by UC Davis's experts in wind, turning the ballpark. Originally, the ballpark was going to look onto the city, but to minimize the wind, it was turned, and the largest wall of the ballpark was placed to block the wind. And now, out at Willie Mays Plaza, 24 palm trees stand, and the beautiful, in fact, the street signs are out now. It is indeed 24 Willie Mays Plaza, no longer known simply as 3rd and King.
And one of the neat things about coming to this ballpark is for the charter seat license purchasers, the fans that help build this ballpark, buying the charter seat licenses, and they have their own bricks in Willie Mays Plaza. And it was really fun to see the fans come into Willie Mays Plaza for the first time today and search to find their brick and be so excited when they found it.
So much of the efforts in this ballpark making it happen were what you've just seen here in the last few seconds, the concrete piles that were driven into the land. And obviously anyone who's lived here understands the importance of making something seismically safe, and that was really, you know, for a while we were wondering, when is the ballpark going up? Well, it took a long time because this is what they were doing.
Well, they did it right. You only have to walk through the concourse and into the arena to take a look at the most magnificent sight you'll ever see. If you've been coming to ballparks and you've been to other places around the country where they play Major League Baseball, you'll really appreciate this one because this is like no other. It's spectacular every part of the ballpark, all 360 degrees. If you walk a circle around this place, you could not find something that is not beautiful to look at.
And then finally in January, before there was ever grass in the field, the Giants players came and took the first symbolic swings in the park, much to the delight of the construction workers. E-welder right there, though.
Check these guys out, gamers. No gloves, just getting for the line drives.
Well, they deserve the honor today, the men and women who built Pacific Ballpark, and particularly the last month, an amazing job, as at the end of any construction project always is, to make sure it was ready to open on time.
Fans, how about a big round of applause for the people who built this magnificent ballpark? And ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Larry Baer has another special introduction on the field.
You know, it's one thing to dream about an old-fashioned, beautiful ballpark. It's another thing to put that vision into reality, to translate it into an old-fashioned, intimate, magnificent park that will stand the test of time. We were fortunate to have an architect who knew how to do that. His name is Joe Spear. He designed Camden Yards and Coors Field and Jacobs Field, and it is his architectural excellence that is represented here today. Please welcome Joe Spear.
It has been said that an architect is only as good as his or her client. And I think nowhere else is it more appropriate to say today we had some great clients. It's clear to me that Peter Magowan and Larry Baer, and indeed the entire Giants organization, is an organization concerned with their community and passionate about baseball. They deserve your thanks and appreciation today. Generations from now, people will look at Pacific Ballpark and they will know three things. First, they will know it was built for this community. For why else would a team forego better business opportunity to build a park here? Why else would a team take such care to make sure their park fits its city? Secondly, they will know it is built for baseball and baseball fans, because the Giants have crafted a jewel here on this ground that will enrich baseball from this day forward. And lastly, I hope that they understand that the architects had a very good client. There are so many others here who deserve to be at this microphone. I wish that they could all speak. But on their behalf, we'd like to thank Peter Magowan and Larry Baer for the privilege of working on this project.
Thank you, Mr. Spear. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for some very special words, please welcome longtime San Francisco resident and lifelong baseball fan. He never gave up on the notion that Giants fans deserved a world-class ballpark to match this world-class city. it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you Mr. Peter Magowan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. On behalf of my fellow partners, thank you. There is one person in particular that I would like to see standing here with me today, because it was his enthusiasm, vision, passion, commitment, hard work, and love of baseball that helped make this ballpark a reality. Our Chief Operating Officer, Larry Baer. Larry's also my friend. After the 1992 baseball season ended, and when it looked like the Giants were headed for Tampa Bay, Larry and I got together, and we wrote down our goals. There were 10 of them. Keep the Giants from leaving San Francisco. Hire the best baseball management team in the industry. Put onto that team the best player in the game. Win the World Series. Become the most community-minded organization in baseball. Somehow convince the voters to approve a new ballpark after they rejected 4 previous proposals. Figure out how to pay for our facility with no public money. To ensure that the Giants will be here forever, design the best ballpark in the country and build it on time and on budget. Persuade 3 million fans to come and see us play, and increase over time the value of the franchise. Well, I'm proud to say we've achieved 9 of these goals, and we sure as hell haven't given up on the other one, to win a World Series. Larry and I are very grateful to all those who have helped us accomplish what we have over the past 7 years. First, our fans, who we think are the very best in the game, and the voters, and our elected officials, led by our mayor, and the community leaders, and the Winter Circle sponsors, led by Pacific Bell, and all those who bought chartered seats and season tickets, and our bankers, and all the cooperative government agencies and regulators, and all our fellow employees who have worked so hard to achieve the very challenging goals that we established, and our players, manager, and coaches, who so richly deserve the support you give them. I'd also like to thank the most important person in my life, my wife, Debbie. And finally, our investors, a group of men and women who cared enough about the community and the game of baseball to dig deeply into their pockets to do what was right and keep our team here, who are willing to stick out their necks in a very courageous way, and who shared our vision of what kind of permanent home the Giants and the community deserve. A home that will ensure that the Giants will be here forever. So now we begin a new century of Giants baseball. Let's enjoy it for the next 100 years. The best game there ever was, played in the best city, played in the best ballpark. Let's enjoy it. Thank you.
you, Peter, and thank you, Larry. And now, to put the finishing touches on Pacific Bell Park, please welcome construction workers Ray Carrillo, Sean Thomas, and Mike Castellano, who will install the bases. And now, to further celebrate opening day, please offer a warm welcome to Steve Silver's Beach Blanket Babylon, who will perform San Francisco. San Francisco, open your golden gate. You let no stranger wait outside your door. San Francisco, here is your wandering one, saying I'll wander no more. Other places only make me love you best. Tell me you're the heart of all the golden West, the golden West. San Francisco, welcome me home again. I'm coming home to go roaming now. San Francisco, welcome me home again. I'm coming home to go roaming no more. Beach Blanket Babylon, and another great hat. And now, let's welcome another longtime friend of the Giants. He's been with the team through both good times and bad. He grew up in the Haight-Ashbury district of San Francisco, later went on to attend San Francisco State University. He is an award-winning actor and producer in both motion pictures and television. Today, he will deliver for us 2 short readings. The first, from the hit movie Field of Dreams, and the second, from the eloquent prose of The Green Fields of the Mind, written by the late baseball commissioner Bart Giamatti. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Danny Glover.
Right. The one constant through all the years has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been a race like a black. I didn't know my voice was that strong. The one constant through all the years has been baseball. America has rolled by like an arm of steamrollers. It has been a race like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game is past. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be good again. Oh, people will come. People will come. It breaks your heart. It's designed to break your heart. The game begins spring when everything else begins again, and it blossoms in the summer, filling the afternoons and the evenings. And then, as soon as the chill rains come, it stops and leaves you to face the fall alone. You count on it, rely on it, to buffer the passage of time, to keep the memory of sunshine and high skies alive. And then, just when the days are all twilight, when you need it the most, it stops. Thank you.
And now, performing America the Beautiful, please welcome the San Francisco Symphony Brass.
That's great. We've had some ceremonies. Let's get ready to play ball. Ladies and gentlemen, April 11th, 2000, let's have the very first Pacific Bell welcome for the Los Angeles Dodgers. The manager, number 5, Davey Johnson. Batting first and playing center field, number 22, Devon White. Batting second and playing second base, number 8, Mark Grzelanic. Batting third and playing right field, number 15, Sean Green. Batting fourth and playing left field, number 10, Gary Sheffield. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 17, Geronimo Berroa. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 29, Adrian Beltre. Batting seventh and catching, number 9, Todd Hundley. Hitting eighth and playing shortstop, number 43, Kevin Elster. Batting ninth and pitching, warming up in the bullpen, number 61, John Ho Park. And please welcome the rest of the Dodgers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the San Francisco Giants. First of all, strength and conditioning trainer, Dave Greshner. Assistant trainer, Barney Nugent. Head trainer and medical director, Stan Conti. The umpires attendant, David Lowenstein. The assistant equipment manager, Richard Casase. The equipment manager, he was here for Game 1 in 1958, Mike Murphy. Now the Giants coaches, Carlos Alfonso. Hitting coach, number 20, Gene Clines. Third base coach, number 16, Sonny Jackson. Bullpen coach, out in the bullpen, number 59, Juan Lopez. Back in a Giants uniform, out in the bullpen, the pitching coach, number 19, Dave Righetti. Also back in uniform, one of the Giants' all-time greats, first base coach, number 5, Robbie Thompson. And the bench coach, number 10, Ron Wotus. Now the Giants' non-starters. Number 1, outfielder, Armando Rios. Number 8, outfielder, Calvin Murray. Number 18, infielder, Russ Davis. Number 26, pitcher, Mark Gardner. Number 29, catcher, Bobby Estalella. Number 31, pitcher, Rob Nen. Number 34, infielder, Ramon Martinez. Number 36, pitcher, Joe Nathan. Number 38, pitcher, Aaron Foltz. Number 47, pitcher, Felix Rodriguez. Number 48, pitcher, Russ Ortiz. Number 49, pitcher, John Johnstone. Number 52, infielder, Felipe Crespo. Number 55, pitcher, opening the year on the disabled list, Sean Estes. Number 56, pitcher, Alan Embry. Number 57, pitcher, Ben Weber. Number 61, pitcher, Livan Hernandez. Two-time National League Manager of the Year. He will become the Giants' winningest manager in San Francisco history sometime this year. Number 12, Dusty Baker. Now the lineup. Leading off and playing center field, number 7, Marvin Bernard. Batting second and playing third base, number 32, Bill Miller. Batting third and playing left field, number 25, Barry Bonds. Batting fourth and playing second base, number 21, Jeff Kent. Batting fifth and playing right field, number 23, Ellis Burks. Hitting sixth and playing first base, number 6, J.T. Snow. Hitting seventh and playing shortstop, number 35, Rich Aurelia. Batting eighth and catching right now in the left field bullpen, number 15, Doug Mirabelli. Batting ninth and warming up in the bullpen, starting pitcher number 46, Kirk Reeder. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2000 San Francisco Giants.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Performing the honors today is Mr. Bobby McFerrin.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets reclaim the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and the whole
Bobby McFerrin with the national anthem. The FA Hornet Strike Fighters Naval Flyers with the flyover. And the party has been magnificent at Pacific Bell Park. But now it's time for baseball. John Miller back. He'll be joining Mikey for the game in just a moment.
Flying to the LA area for business? If these 96 reasons don't convince you to fly Southwest Airlines nonstop to the LA area, maybe this will. Call 1-800-I-FLY-SWA